Welcome. And if this is your first time here, then please pull up a chair and get stuck in. If you're a returning listener and viewer, then you know the fire's always warm here. I'm Clive Gilson, your guide through Tales from the World's Firesides, where ancient legends, forgotten folk tales, and strange myths spark back to life. Today's tale is a chilling little gem from Manx folklore, and it's called the Moddey Doo, or the Black Dog of Peel Castle. So, if you want, hit that like button, pour yourself a cup of something warm, and let's begin. The Moddey Doo, or the Black Dog of Peel Castle. In the days when Charles II was king in England and Charles, Earl of Derby, king in Man, Peel Castle was always garrisoned by soldiers. The guardroom was just inside the great entrance gate of the castle, and a passage used to lead from it through one of the old churches to the captain of the guard's room. At the end of the day, one of the soldiers locked the castle gates and carried the keys through the dark passage to the captain. They would take it in turns. Now, about this time, one and another began to notice, sometimes in one room, sometimes in another, a big black dog with rough, curly hair. He did not belong to any person there, and nobody knew anything about him. But every night, when the candles were lighted in the guardroom and the fire was burning bright, he would come from the dark passage and lay himself down by the hearth. He made no sound, but lay there till the break of day, and then he would get up and disappear into the passage. The soldiers were terrified of him at first, but after a time they were used to the sight of him and lost some of their fear, though they still looked on him as something more than mortal. Now, while he was in the room, the men were quiet and sober, and no bad words were spoken. When the hour came to carry the keys to the captain, two of them would always go together, for no man now would face the dark passage alone. One night, however, one foolish fellow had drunk more than was good for him, and he began to brag and boast that he was not afraid of the dog. It was not his turn to take the keys, but to show how brave he was, he said that he would take them alone. He dared the dog to follow him. "Let him come," he shouted, laughing. "I'll see whether he be dog or devil." His friends were terrified and tried to hold him back, but he snatched up the keys and went out into the passage, and the black dog slowly got up from before the fire and followed him. There was dead silence in the guardroom, and no sound was heard but the dashing of the waves on the steep rocks of the castle islet. After a few minutes, there came from the dark passage the most awful and unearthly screams and howls, but not a soldier dared to move to see what was going on. They looked at each other in horror, and presently they heard steps, and the rash fellow came back into the room. His face was ghastly pale and twisted with fear. He spoke not a word then or ever afterwards. In 3 days he was dead, and nobody ever knew what had happened to him that fearful night. The black dog has never been seen again. And that's a wrap on the Moddey Doo, or the Black Dog of Peel Castle. This particular version is adapted from Sophia Morrison's Manx fairy tales, published by David Nutt in London in 1911. So, thank you for listening. If this tale made you smile or shiver or remember an old story maybe from your own family, then stick around. There's plenty more tales where that came from. I've got full collections of folklore from the Arctic to Zanzibar and beyond, and you can find them on Amazon at the link that's at the bottom of the screen. If you're curious about the voice behind the mic, then drop by clivegilson.com. You can find out more about me there, and I'm always glad to connect. If you enjoyed this, please do hit the like button or subscribe, and share with friends who love magical tales and eerie folklore. Every click helps keep the fire burning. Until next time, though, stay curious, stay cozy, and keep the stories alive. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.